There was a time when Britain produced some of the most innovative cars in the world. Back in old Britain, engineers weren't afraid to experiment. They tried new ideas. They challenged conventional thinking. And sometimes, they created cars so advanced that the rest of the automotive world needed years to catch up. Luxury brands like Rolls-Royce, Jaguar, Bentley, and Aston Martin often introduced groundbreaking engineering. But innovation wasn't limited to expensive cars. Some ordinary British vehicles contained technology that seemed almost impossible for their era. Features we now take for granted first appeared on these remarkable machines. Some succeeded, some failed, but all of them pushed the boundaries of what a car could be. Before we begin today's countdown, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more classic British car stories, forgotten motoring history, and nostalgic journeys through old Britain. Now let's count down 10 classic British cars with technology decades ahead of their time. And by the time we reach number 1, you'll discover a British innovation that helped shape the modern automotive world. Number 10, Austin Mini. The Mini arrived in 1959. Built by the British Motor Corporation and designed by Alec Isagones, it changed small car design forever. At first glance, the Mini looked simple, but underneath, it was revolutionary. The engine was mounted sideways. The gearbox sat beneath it. This clever arrangement created far more interior space than anyone thought possible in such a small car. Today, transverse engine layouts are common throughout the industry. Back then, they were revolutionary. People loved the Mini because it felt practical, economical, and surprisingly spacious. The technology hidden beneath its tiny body helped influence millions of cars that followed. Number 9, Jensen FF. The Jensen FF arrived in 1966. Built by Jensen Motors, it looked like a stylish Grand Tourer. But beneath the bodywork was something extraordinary. The Jensen FF became one of the world's first production cars with all-wheel drive. Even more impressive, it also featured one of the earliest anti-lock braking systems ever fitted to a road car. Today, both technologies are common. In the 1960s, they seemed almost futuristic. Owners appreciated the additional stability and control. The Jensen FF proved that advanced safety and performance technologies could work together decades before most manufacturers embraced them. Number 8, Rover P6. The Rover P6 appeared in 1963. Built by Rover, it introduced engineering ideas that were remarkably advanced for a family saloon. The structure used a sophisticated safety-focused design. The suspension delivered impressive ride quality and handling. Disc brakes provided confident stopping power. The interior was carefully designed with safety in mind. People loved the Rover P6 because it felt modern and refined. Many of its engineering principles would later become common throughout the industry. At the time, however, it stood far ahead of many competitors. Number 7, Austin 1800. The Austin 1800 arrived in 1964. Built by BMC, it looked unusual. Some people even nicknamed it the land crab. Yet beneath the styling sat some impressive technology. The car featured hydroelastic suspension developed by engineer Alex Moulton. This system linked the front and rear suspension together. The result was an exceptionally comfortable ride. Road imperfections seemed to disappear. Passengers enjoyed comfort usually associated with far more expensive vehicles. People appreciated the Austin 1800 because it offered family car practicality with advanced engineering. The suspension technology was years ahead of what many rivals offered. Number 6, Jaguar XJ. When the Jaguar XJ arrived in 1968, it immediately impressed drivers and journalists alike. Built by Jaguar, the XJ combined luxury, performance, and ride comfort in a way few competitors could match. The sophisticated independent rear suspension became particularly famous. It delivered exceptional handling while maintaining outstanding comfort. Many luxury manufacturers spent years trying to achieve a similar balance. Owners loved the XJ because it felt smooth, refined, and surprisingly modern. Even today, many enthusiasts believe the engineering remains impressive. The XJ demonstrated how advanced suspension design could transform the driving experience. Number 5, Lotus Elite. The Lotus Elite arrived in 1974. Built by Lotus, the Elite challenged traditional thinking about sports cars. The wedge-shaped body looked futuristic. But the real innovation sat underneath. The car used lightweight construction techniques and advanced suspension engineering. Lotus focused heavily on handling and efficiency. The result was a car that felt agile and balanced. People liked the Elite because it delivered sports car performance while offering practicality rarely found in the segment. Many of the engineering ideas used by Lotus would later influence performance cars around the world. At the time, however, the Elite felt years ahead of its rivals. Number 4, Range Rover. The original Range Rover arrived in 1970. Built by Land Rover, it created an entirely new category of vehicle. Before the Range Rover, buyers generally had to choose between comfort and off-road ability. The Range Rover offered both. Permanent four-wheel drive, long travel suspension, and comfortable seating created something unique. Today, luxury SUVs dominate the market. Back then, the idea seemed revolutionary. People loved the Range Rover because it could tackle rough countryside tracks while remaining comfortable on motorways. Modern luxury SUVs owe a great deal to the original Range Rover. Number 3, Rover SD1. The Rover SD1 arrived in 1976. Built by Rover, it looked unlike almost anything else on British roads. The dramatic hatchback design gave it a modern appearance that still looks impressive today. But the innovation went beyond styling. The SD1 combined practicality, aerodynamics, and performance in a package that anticipated future executive cars. The large rear hatch made everyday life easier. The spacious cabin provided comfort for families and business users alike. Owners appreciated its blend of practicality and style. Many modern executive hatchbacks follow ideas that Rover explored decades earlier. Number 2, McLaren F1. Although it arrived in the 1990s, the McLaren F1 deserves a place on this list because its technology was so far ahead of its era. Built by McLaren Cars and designed by Gordon Murray, the F1 became one of the most advanced road cars ever created. The carbon fiber monocoque structure was revolutionary. The central driving position was unique. The engineering standards were extraordinary. Even decades later, many modern supercars still struggle to match its reputation. Drivers admired the car because it delivered an experience unlike anything else. The McLaren F1 proved that British engineering remained capable of leading the world. And many of its innovations later became industry standards. Number 1, Morris Mini Minor. And finally, the British car whose technology influenced more vehicles than almost any other. The Morris Mini Minor. Yes, the Mini appears again, because its impact was simply too important to ignore. When Alec Isagones designed the Mini, he wasn't trying to create a sports car or luxury vehicle, he was trying to solve a problem. How do you fit 4 people comfortably into a very small car? His solution transformed the industry. The transverse engine, front-wheel drive, compact packaging, efficient use of space. These ideas eventually spread across the automotive world. Today, millions of cars use layouts inspired directly by the Mini. People loved the Mini because it felt practical and fun. Manufacturers loved it because it showed a new way of building small cars. More than 60 years later, its influence remains everywhere. That's why it takes the number 1 position. Because few cars have changed automotive engineering more profoundly. The Mini didn't simply introduce new technology, it helped redefine how modern cars are built. And that's an achievement that still feels remarkable today. These cars remind us that innovation doesn't always come from massive corporations or expensive supercars. Sometimes it comes from engineers willing to challenge convention. The cars on this list introduced ideas that seemed radical at the time. Some became industry standards. Some inspired future generations of vehicles. And some still feel surprisingly modern even today. They prove that British engineers were often willing to think differently, to take risks, and to push technology forward. That spirit of innovation helped shape the automotive world we know today. So which of these advanced British cars surprised you the most? And which piece of technology do you think was most impressive for its era? Let us know in the comments below.